Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, hi, my name is Neha. I make video on tech and my life in the UK. In today's video, I'm gonna share 3 tech books which I like. With each tech book, I'm gonna share why I like those books, why I picked those books, and how was my experience. If you don't know, I love reading books. Either it's tech or non-tech. I keep sharing about my book journey on Twitter. If we are not connected on Twitter, I will leave my Twitter handle in the description box below this video, and I would love to connect with you folks there. So let's start. So the first book is System Design. This is volume 2, but just forget whatever I'm gonna talk is for volume 1 and volume 2 both. So first I'm gonna talk about how I started with this book. So I wanted to learn system design. As my experience was growing, I come from a very heavy front-end domain. And in front-end domain, system design is just about day-to-day work, like create a component, create a, how you are going to design your front-end application. But as your experience grew, the system design problems are basically the backend. And in the interviews also, they are just interested in the backend system design, not in the front end. And for me also, it was becoming a bottleneck because working very heavily in front end, I never focused towards the system design of backend. So what I did is, at that time, Alex, who is the author of System Design interview, he released his first book. I would appreciate if you can go and check his work on Byte Go. It's on LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube channel. You will see that how creatively they actually publish complex topics in a very easy language. So what I did is I picked the system design interview book because for me it was very important to understand what is system design, what kind of interviews questions there are, how shall I start answering those questions, how the whole interview should be, and obviously it's a time bonded, so that is also there. So Alex in that book has explained everything from start. What is system design, what kind of interviews will happen, how the interview format will be, and then he picked few problems of system design, and the format which he talked about of the interviews, he answers those questions in the book in that format, as well as all the architectural design, edge cases, what are the assumptions we are taking, and everything. Definitely in first go, everything was going above my head. But in the second go, because I don't wanted to give up, I don't wanted to quit. So I actually reread that book quite a few times to get me comfortable with the language, with the new topics, with the new concepts. So whenever I used to pick this book, definitely I used to end up with learning 5 more things and 10 more things to research on. So it was not like a very linear reading journey, but it was, I would say, very insightful learning, because someone who is like me, coming from front end, going to system design, lot of things you need to learn and do research. So be ready when you are reading that book that you have to do a Google or YouTube to learn some terminology, some concept around that. Now I have this volume 2 with me. Now what is the difference between volume 1 and volume 2? So volume 1, anyone who is starting with system design, they can start with volume 1. Volume 2 has more questions, but the good thing is these are in more detail. So first you are done with volume 1, you can come to the volume 2, or if you want to start with volume 2, you can do. I actually started with volume 1, then I went to volume 2. For me, when I pick volume 2, my journey of understanding, not reading, because tech books are not about reading, they are about understanding. So my understanding of this book was way better and quicker as compared to when I pick volume 1, and that was actually a measurement that how I have progressed very well. So yeah, this is the first book. Now let's talk about the second book. Again, I am pretty sure you might have already know about this book, which is You Don't Know JavaScript. Now why I picked this book, the reason is because of my journey. When these books got launched, I was already working in the front end domain heavily with JavaScript. So for me, I was like, I don't want to, go deep dive here in the language because I already know it. I'm working day to day. But once I started, progressing in my career, I become a tech lead, engineering manager, I realized that having deep dive knowledge as my role is growing is important. So what I did is I picked this book. Now the good thing about these books is, first, definitely they are online available. Kyle Simpson, who is the author of this book, has already put these books PDF on the GitHub, so you can go and read there. Plus, you don't need to start from the part 1. You can pick any topic and start from there. So I picked this particular topic, and I made a lot of notes from here, from this book. So this is a pretty good book for someone who is, who is done with JavaScript, who already know JavaScript. You are working with the JavaScript. You already have like 3-4 years of working, and then you wanted to go more deep dive. Then you can pick this. Okay, but first I would suggest you have working knowledge of JavaScript. When I say working knowledge, it means you are comfortable working in JavaScript, not React.js, JavaScript. Okay, so this is a pretty good book. Now the last book is this one, Computer Science, Learn the Art of Solving Computational Problems. So this is a very good book. I just finished this book. This book has basically summary of DSA, problem solving, computers, database, everything. So everything what we have in computer science, it has a very quick summary of that in this book. The reason I picked this book, because it's kind of a quick revision, I would say. So that's why what I learned from it is the problem solving. Not like problem solving like they have questions and you have to solve. No, it's not like this. It's a very quick read about summary of every type of problem solving there, like for example backtracing, for example greedy, for example divide and conquer. So these kind of every topic has like one paragraph, that what it is, what it is, what it is, and few examples. That's it. So for me, it was a quick read and a quick revision to go through the computer science and problem solving. What I liked about this book is the graphics part. So if you will see, let me show you that it has like very good graphics also. You must have seen. Let me just pull a page to show you. So like this, and like this. So I love anything which has graphics. So this is a pretty good book like this. So database, sharding, all these things is also mentioned here. So these are the 3 tech books which I liked, and one of that I just recently finished. Now I'm going to talk about that, how easy it is to read tech books. This is the question which I get most of the time. Tech books versus non-tech books are very different. Non-tech books, we are always excited to read it, and we have no hopes from that book, just to have a very comfort story, so that we can enjoy it. Tech books have very different goals. We expect to learn from them. And please try to understand, like in system design, when I was very new to system design, so when I picked that book, that was very hard for me to sit for like 30 minutes. Then I decided, just forget 30 minutes, let me sit only for 5 pages. The topic was so new for me that even 5 pages, finishing 5 pages effectively, when I say effectively, it means I'm not like just reading that, I'm also understanding, and I'm also able to connect and having some work for myself after I am done with that book, so that I can continue my system design journey. Was very hard. There was time when I used to read 1 or 2 pages, and I end up with lot of research work. So it was not easy, but the way I work, the way I read books is I give the book a lot of time, to be honest. Every day I pick a book, I try to sit with that book for 30 minutes or 5 pages, 2 pages. I make notes. So I use pencil, pen, try to make notes there in the book or separate. But I take a lot of notes. These notes actually help me when I'm actually going back to revise, or picking any book again, to just to recall that, okay, this was this concept was this, and all that. Plus, for me, I'm gonna talk about me. I'm a more a visual person, so whenever I make notes, circle a important thing, write something in my own language in that book, I feel that I am able to remember that for long. And when I'm sitting in doing some interview work, or having some discussion with someone, I can very quickly recall, oh, I read this in that book, and I can pull from there. So my suggestion to you is, Do not think that tech books are very easy to read. I'm not challenging, but I'm just preparing you mentally. You need to give yourself and that book some time. You will end up with, with a lot of topics and concepts which you have to go back and research. But once your research is done, come back. I generally follow a rule that first I finish my one book and then I go and purchase the second one. Or what I do is I purchase in bulk like 3 4 books, and that lot I have to finish before I buy new one. So it depends upon you what kind of person you are, but my request to you is if you are buying books, please finish them. So for example, this book I purchased, I will show you the date because this is what I started doing. I started adding dates also, which I'm not able to find in this book, which is a shame. Okay, on this book I'm not able to find the date, but let me see. Yeah, so this book I actually purchased on 22nd March 2022. So what I do is I keep the track when I purchased it, and when I am not when I am able to finish it, but it's just a track that when I started reading this book, uh, how far I have come, how easy it is to me to understand now first chapter or second chapter or this topic or that topic. Another tip I wanted to give about tech books is unless and until the content is like that you need to go in order, uh, then it's fine. Otherwise, you can start with any topic. Like for you don't know JavaScript, that's why I mentioned if you have 3 years of experience, working experience with JavaScript, you can start with any book. You don't need to start with part one. You can start with any. Now in system design interview volume 2, I can start with any problem. I don't need to start with problem 1. I can start with any problem. Again, with this particular book, same thing. I can start with any chapter, any topic. I don't need to go from the chapter 1. So you can also read or learn selectively from these tech books. Cool. So I hope this video was helpful for you. As I told you, I read a lot of books. I will try to keep making videos on the books I read, what I learned out of that, how helpful were they, how was my journey, and I hope this will inspire you to pick your tech books also. Take care. Bye. I will see you in the next video.